So this is the time of year where I start thinking about what's next year gonna look like. So let's talk about that a little bit and see if I can help you figure out what's happening next year as well. Let's go. Welcome back, everyone. It is good to see you all. I think this will be the last video of the year. I think. I'm going to take a little bit of time off, like a week and a half off, and then videos will start rolling out in January. As I said, this is when I start thinking about a little bit looking back, but mostly looking forward. There's not much I can do looking back, but there's a lot I can do looking forward. And so, what am I planning for 2025 in terms of trips, and a little bit in terms of the channel, but most importantly, what are your plans for 2025? And that's the real thing I want to talk about, right? So this time of year, I start thinking about next year, and in general, I try to plan 4 big trips a year, 1 a quarter, knowing that one of them will usually get dropped. So it'll end up being 3. I know that I'm going back to Maine, Nova Scotia. We missed about a third of Nova Scotia and want to head back and get that. And I want to keep exploring and paddling coastal Maine and not so coastal Maine. So that is one trip. Another trip that's going to happen, I don't know when, is a hike of the Presidential Traverse, which I did about 30 years ago, and I want to do it again. Last time I did it in 3 days, really 2.5. I got weathered off at the end. I want to see if I can do it in 2 days, this time 30 years older. And yeah, it's going to be a chore. It's a challenging hike to begin with. And then the other is still up in the air. April, May, Georgian Bay, or the Apostle Islands. I'm not sure which. It depends on who's going, when we can go, things like that. Apostle Islands is the easy one. Georgian Bay is a bit more remote, a bit more dangerous. I don't want to do that one solo if I end up going solo. But I think I've got some people roped into going with me. So we'll see how that plays out. And then 4th, I don't know what 4th is yet. I'll keep looking at charts. I'll keep coming up with ideas. It'll be something. But what are you planning is what I want to know. And for me, the year is already taking shape. I've got WFAs planned out through April, and then I start building things around it. What are your goals? What's on your plate for 2025? And really the way that I like to think of it is, don't think of it so much in terms of what trips do I want to do. Think of it in terms of what goals do I want to accomplish, which can then lead to what trips you want to do. Frequently what I say to younger instructors when I'm training them is, think about where you want to be in 2 years, and then do the things this year to get you there. So that's what I would encourage you to be thinking about. Where do you want to be as a paddler, as an adventurer, whatever, in terms of in 2 years, so that you can then take the steps to get there. I do that all the time. I do that with wilderness first aid students. There's a couple of people I'm talking to right now about wilderness EMT courses. I do that with paddlers. You know, where do you envision yourself? What kind of trips do you want to be doing? So what sort of skills do you need to build, or what sort of experience do you need to build to get there? And then I do it with people who are like, I want to do an adventure, but I don't know what I want to do. Great. What have you done, and what can we build on to get that working in the right way, to get you where you want to be? Those are things that I think you should be thinking about. You may be watching this channel because you like the kayak related stuff, but I want to broaden the audience here a bit into more general adventure. And that's why we're going to see some hiking stuff. There will almost certainly be some biking content this year on the channel, which I'm excited about. But think about those sorts of things for you. Like, I'm planning 2 years down the road for the channel, and for me, the way that I choose the trips that I'm doing are more like, what will I enjoy? What can I manage risk-wise at this point in my life? And what will make good content? But that may not be the way that you're thinking about it. You may be thinking about it like, oh, I want to do this kind of trip. I want to paddle an open coast. What do I have to do to get there? So think about those things. I'd love to know down in the comments if you are already planning trips, what you have in mind, and if the 2-year thing works for you. If you're thinking about where do I want to be in 2 years? What do I need to do to get there? Tell me how that's working for you, if that works for you. I would love for this to be a conversation. I don't generally spend a lot of time looking back at the last year. This was a very good year, though the last quarter was really tough for me. A lot going on, which I'll get into, I think, in another video. Maybe this isn't the last video of the year. But it is nice to sort of like look back and say, oh, I accomplished this and I accomplished this and I accomplished this. How can I build on it? I am all about how can I build on it. So those are the things I want you thinking about. Those are the things I'm thinking about. Let's work together to make 2025 a really great adventure year. Think about those things. Let me know what you're thinking down below. If you like this channel, do me a favor, hit like and hit subscribe. A very quick sidebar. My goal in terms of subscribers for the year was 7,100. As I record this in the beginning of December, I am at 7,025, so I need 75 subscribers to hit my goal. If I don't hit my goal, it's not a big deal. It was a great year. I'm super thrilled with the growth of the channel. Viewership definitely decreased as the weather got colder, which it does every year, which is another reason why I sort of want to broaden out the scope of the channel. So do me a favor, if you haven't, hit like, hit subscribe. I suspect if you're watching this, you're a subscriber. You're one of my core group. I really appreciate that core group. If you need help planning trips, reach out to me. Happy to help you. Support the channel down on Coffee, all sorts of things on Coffee. Otherwise, I'll see you in 2025 on the water or on the land or on a bike or somewhere out there. I'll see you out there. Okay, I can see the van. It has been an amazing paddle in the snow. I'm gonna head home, find myself a hot beverage. This was just sensational. I really can't stress enough. Set yourself goals like this one I've been working on for decades and haven't been able to make work. And this is a simple thing, right? It's like paddling in snow. You just have to be willing to get out in the cold. And maybe it'll snow on you.